Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to talk about how to repair a GE washing machine that will not spin out. The lid does not lock, and the machine, of course, because it won't lock, won't spin. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go underneath the machine itself, and I already did it. This is underneath your machine. It's down on the left side of the machine, and it's stuck on the wall of the machine. I actually went down inside there and I got the paper out for it, and this paper is actually, it tells you a whole diagnostic procedure that you go through to figure out what the problem is with it. So I'm going to take a look through it, get myself familiar with it, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do a couple of tests on it. Just so you know, this machine is capable of diagnosing itself. It has actually built-in diagnostics on it. So we're going to go into the diagnostic mode here, and we're going to go through each one of the tests, and we're going to find out what the problem is. All right, so let me read this, and we'll come right back. Okay, so we're back now. I just want to show you the paper. I opened it up and I went through the procedure of how to put it into what's called a field service mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow what it says here. It says we're going to come over here and we're going to press the start button and hold it, and we're going to rotate the knob, this knob, 7 clicks. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to press the button here and we're going to rotate it 7 clicks. And then we're going to let go, and it should go into a test mode. All the lights will light up, and when they light up like this, now it's in its test mode. And if you look on here, these lights all mean something, and you can see this here has six lights on here, and as you can see down in here, there's actually 6 little dots on here. So now when we're going to do all these tests in here, we're going to go through the test mode, and we're going to rotate this dial clockwise 1 click, and we'll go into each individual test. So let me do the first test, and we'll go through this together. Okay, so we're going to turn it 1 click, and we're in right now is where it's spin, and we're going to look up over here on your chart. It'll tell you what the codes are. There's a fault code in there someplace, so we're going to go next click down, and this is all IDs that we're going through now, so we're not going to do anything on here. We're just going to click through it. We're on 2, and it tells you what the software version would be, and we're going to continue until we get down to the first test over here. This tests the hot water valve. So we have 1 that's not dark, 2 that are, and as you can see, you have the corresponding lights right up here for it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to test the valves on here. And what we'll do is we'll press the start, and this will toggle the hot water off and on. So we're going to do that. And we're going to do our next test. Our next test is the cold water valve test. We're going to press it, and you can hear the water. Works perfectly. We're going to go to our next test now. We're not going to do anything with that because that's the fabric softener dispenser. We're not going to do that. Spray rinse check valve. We're going to click it 1 more time, and you can see these 2 lights are lit, and the corresponding paper here shows the same thing. Again, you press and release, and it tests it, and you can hear it's working properly. We're going to go to our next one. It's the pressure sensor. So we're going to rotate it, and you can see we have these 2 lit and the corresponding here. And as you can hear, that works. Now this is the pump. We're going to test the pump, so we're going to rotate it 1 more time, and you can see we have 2 lights and 1 light here. Press it again. Okay, we're going to go to our next one. It's the drain pump. We're going to rotate it 1 time, and now we're going to check to see if the drain pump works. And as you can hear, the pump is working. So we're going to let it drain out a little bit. Once it drains out, we'll come back and we're going to do this lid switch test. Alright, it sounds empty to me. Now we're going to rotate this knob one more time. We're going to do a lid switch test, which you can see is one light lit here. And then the other two lights are lit right here, which is what we have right here. We're going to press the start button and it will start the test. When the lid is open, the spin status LED will blink. See the spin? It's blinking. So right now we know we have a problem with the lid. The lid is not showing that it's closed. According to this, it's showing that the lid is open. The LED will blink, and when the lid is closed, the rinse status light will blink. And as you can see right here, the spin is blinking, and that's showing that the lid is still open even though the lid is closed. If the lid was closed, this light would be on. So right now we have a problem where it will not spin. We're going to go down to our next test now. And our next test is 3 lights across, and that'll test the spin. Press the start, and the test for the spin will commence. Now you can see here, this lid light is blinking. That lid light is supposed to be solid. It's not supposed to be blinking like that. So it appears that we have something going on with the either the lid itself, which this looks okay. Now the other problem we have is down inside here. We're going to come in here. You know what? Give me a second. I'm going to grab a screwdriver. I'm going to pry this piece off right here. So let me grab a screwdriver and we'll pry it right off. You want to be careful that you don't hurt yourself. Okay, I'm going to put that there. Okay, now we'll put that piece in here. And this is the switch right here. That locks and unlocks the lid. It appears to be moving okay. Let's take a look at the lid itself at the same time while we're doing this. And we can see that the lid lock here is still blinking. We're going to go to the lid switch. So we're going to go backwards now. Instead of going clockwise, we're going to go counterclockwise. And as you can see, one light is lit. Then there's 2 others here. And that's the lid switch test. So now we're going to do the switch test now. And we're just going to, let me pull that switch out and let's see what it looks like. Now after you pull this piece out, the switch itself just pushes out through the bottom here. It's a little bit tight to get it out. Okay. And that's about as far as it's going to come. Okay, this is the switch itself. This is how it fits in there. When you close the lid, it pushes down inside here, and it pushes these pins back inside there. I can already feel that something's going on with this pin right here, because there is no, this one is spring loaded, and the other one here does not feel like it's spring loaded. So let me just try something here. I want to check my back part. I'm just going to manually work this. And there you go. You can see now, see how it shows rinse? That shows that the switch is closed. And that shows that the switch is open. So what happens, let me just take the switch out of here. And the plug just pulls right out of here. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. See that piece right there? It's supposed to be like this one, spring loaded. So something broke inside this switch right here. All right, so that's, let me shut this. All off here. Okay, so most likely this switch here is going to be no good. As you can see, when it moves back and forth like that, there's definitely a problem going on inside there. The reason I thought about checking this first is because the piece that gets the most use is the lid that opens and closes. But when you go through this diagnostic procedure right here, it is very simple to follow the procedure to find out what your problem would be. My problem is the switch here is no good. We're going to have to place an order for a new one, and once we get the new switch, we'll come back and we'll put that switch in and we'll get this job wrapped up, and the machine will be back to normal again. All right, I hope this helps somebody out, but follow your procedure in here and you shouldn't have any problem. Okay, so one other piece of advice I want to give you. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to bore you with the rest of the tests on here, but follow the rest of the diagnostics on this paper right here, just to make sure that you don't have another problem other than the main lid switch itself. All right, so make sure you follow the rest of the procedure as well. Okay, and I'm going to hold this up and you can zoom. Oh, you got that? Okay. Okay, so now we have our replacement part. We're going to open up the bag, obviously, and we did get the original GE replacement part. And we're going to take our part to make sure it's the correct one, and we're going to match it up against the side right here. And as you can see right here, this is the part number, the EG number, and this EG number, they're the exact same number, so we know we have the correct part. This one, as you recall, this one here, this worked properly here, but that one, you see how that one was down in there? And it just bounced around? This is our replacement here, and as you can see, that piece is exactly as it's supposed to be. This one just pops in, and that one is out, so we know that the switch was no good. We're going to take our switch now, we're going to put it back in here, and it says do not remove, so we are not going to remove that. We're going to reach underneath the machine itself, up underneath the drum here, and you may have to pull the drum over slightly like this so you can reach in and grab the wiring, because it probably slid out of place. And now we have our wiring in hand. And I just want to show you this. There's only one way that this plug will plug in here. You see how it has these little grooves right here? You have to make sure that they line up here the way that it belongs. So we're going to take it now, bring it in here like this, and push it, and you hear a snap in place. Now we're going to rotate it around like this, and we're going to bring it up into the machine. We're going to pull the drum over slightly so we can get our hand in there. We're going to put this in here. We're going to catch the one side in here like this, and then the other side just snaps right in place just like that. Okay, the last thing we're going to do now is we're going to take this and we're going to put this cover back on. Make sure that this pin lines up over here, because it will not go the other way. Take it and just put it down inside here like that. Push these down and you push it, and that's it. We'll close it. And that's it. All right, it's good as new. All right, so the only thing I will tell you is that when you do get the replacement part, make sure you get the part made originally from whatever company. There's Whirlpool, make sure you get a Whirlpool product. If you have a GE, make sure you get a GE product. but this is the replacement part. Fairly cheap. I think this part was only $28, and plus shipping it came to like 30 some odd dollars. It's a lot cheaper than getting a service call to come out to your house and replace it. All right, so this job is done. So Mrs. Get It Done can now do her laundry. She'll be happy. And that's it. The job is done. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.